welcome everybody to episode 3 of Sector 2, the general discussion of anything automotive and motorsport related chaos and insight from an engineer and a very drunken auto mechanic right now who has a very deep passion for motorsport. He's currently dying as we speak. That's fantastic. So this recording is immediately recorded after the race debrief, which may be before or after this episode, but in the case that it's not, race debrief 1 in the way, or before this, something, I don't know. But yeah, today's date is March 29th at approximately 12:30 in the morning, because why not?
Yes,
so,
because
yeah, we have a couple of fun tasks to discuss today involving a range of motorsport series, mostly F1, a couple of randoms, and then automotive. And actually, breaking news, we have some gaming topics today. Wow, isn't that crazy? So now we're going to have some fun. We'll open it up with a very hot conversation. I'm going to call an audible here. Breaking news, Liam Lawson to be sacked from Red Bull Racing, shipped off to Racing Balls, and have Yuki Tsunoda promoted to the Red Bull team just in time for the Japanese Grand Prix. And also, they're bringing back the white Red Bull per sources. There's no confirmation yet, but there's a heavy speculation and belief that there's going to be a white Red Bull and a lot of hints towards it. We get the 2021 Turkey livery back. How do you feel about that, Mr. Crean?
they're just trying to cover up the fact that they're running 4 Racing Bulls. Okay, but for real, I like the white livery. I like it a lot, but I'm more excited about Yuki. I mean, okay. I actually really love the white livery. Like, it's probably my favorite Red Bull livery. Probably in the past. It's probably my favorite one since the Star Wars one. Honestly.
Oh, yes, iconic. Yeah, I think my guilty admittance here is that the Arigato livery is my saver screen for my computer currently. So
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for the white Red Bull. So I'm so happy to see it come back. I think there's very high hopes for Yuki, especially since there's a lot of praise in the preseason when they were doing testing between the two drivers that he had very great insight to hand back to the engineers, which I believe is another reason that they actually ended up promoting him. I know they praised that in his post introducing him to Red Bull Racing, but during the preseason testing, he gave phenomenal feedback and impressed quite a bit of engineers for the data that he was able to get back to them and the understanding for development that he gave. So it makes quite a bit of sense if there's some issues and bugs in the car that they're going to chuck him in there to hopefully perform. He's been there long, but also he has fantastic engineering insight. So he's going to hopefully be able to help develop that car as soon as they can, honestly, because they're in a bit of world of pain right now. So
Just
right now, it's Verstappen racing right now. There is no Red Bull racing. It is Verstappen racing. They're paying only Verstappen to Verstappen.
See, I feel like Yuki could do well at Red Bull because he has a very it's not exactly the same, but he has a similar driving style to Max Verstappen. He likes a very pointy front end. So yeah, I just think he's gonna do better than, how Perez did. Lawson's doing, did at this point.
Yeah,
he's probably gonna do better than Gasly and Albon. I feel like he could be the next Daniel Ricciardo. Honestly.
I think that could be very well. Imagine he scores points on opening with Red Bull. I think that would just solve everything. Imagine a podium. The last person to do that. That would probably bring more happiness than Kamui Kobayashi in his performance with Toyota. Was it Toyota?
I believe so.
Who did he do it with? I think it was Toyota. I don't remember, but that was quite a time to be in Suzuka, and if Yuki does anything crazy with Red Bull, that house is coming down. But I also saw on some reports, too, that there's a bigger emphasis to push Yuki in. When the reports were when the reports were very early on and basically rumors at that point with no real backup besides like several semi-large motorsport companies reposting and talking about it. There was a discussion actually that there was a big financial meeting discussing this kind of topic, and there was a heavy financial push from some Japanese sponsors to get him into that car as quickly as possible, especially partnered with Honda. So there's probably some good financial backing. That was also another reason they're kicking Lawson to the curb, especially after not a great 2 curbs. It's kind of unfair, but you know, that's life. Can't have everything sometimes. I just realized I didn't start my timer, so sorry, that's out of context, but yeah, so I just have to watch my time closely. But very cool, very nice, very incredible. So I thought it was a bit unfair to Lawson, but you know, that's the way the motorsport runs. If they thinks it's going to be better than them, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, Yuki deserved it before Lawson did, but Lawson definitely seemed like a generational talent. They gave him a shot, and he didn't do super hot. So they understandably, at least he's got a seat. At least he has a seat.
At least he does have a seat, yeah. At least he's not like
deserves
Perez
that at least.
Just got completely booted
in the forever box.
Yeah.
Sent to the forever box. So, yeah. Very cool stuff. Move on to the next fun topic, which is a pretty passionate one. We will have there's a massive discussion going on right now between F1 management, the FIA, and most teams about bringing back the V10s. With the efficiency that fuel has gotten to now, they feel like it's confident enough to bring back the V10 engines for the enjoyers of all the sport. I don't know if the hybrid systems would be included within this. There are quite a few teams who are pushing for this to happen. I believe the teams that were specifically named for this to happen, I believe was either I know Mercedes was one of them, and I think the follow-up to Mercedes was either Red Bull or Mercedes, actually. You want to know the one team that was very strongly against this, who I think can go fuck themselves? Audi. Fuck them. They leave every other type of motorsport, think they come in this sport just so they can run these rules. Sorry, welcome to F1. You have to take situations where you're not prepared for sometimes. But the thing is, this is the big caveat. If they agree to do this, they're going to push back the 26 regs for engines further. The 26 engine regs will get pushed backwards, and this will end up as like a 2030 V10 engine upgrade.
It's an investment, but it's worth it. It's an investment.
I want to see it. I need to see it.
Oh
I need to see it. I need to see it.
Please.
I would pay eye gouging money to go to a race to feel my chest rumble from a mile away from a V10. I would do that. I'd pay money. This is your warning, FIA. I will spend my life savings to come hear my chest rumble from a V10 race car. This is your warning.
Multiple times. Vegas, Miami, and freaking Austin.
Even if Miami sucks.
Please.
I'm still going.
I have been to a race, and I've been to a 2019 race. Those engines are disappointing.
Honestly, I kind of like the IndyCar ones, even though when they're at high revs, they sound like a pack of bees aggressively driving towards you. They're still good sounding engines. I love them to death.
They sound good, but not like F1 good, if you know what I mean. Like F1 should sound. F1 cars should sound like I don't know, Banshees.
Or at least I need some like F8000, I think it is. I'll put a mark on screen because I have it somewhere in my camera roll. But there's there's a series of racing. I think it's here in America or it's in Europe where it's normal V Series V8 engines in Formula cars, and they're slick tires, 500 horsepower V8s. It's a junior series, and they sound incredible because they rev to piss high, and I love it. It's kind of like that one dude's, I don't know his name, but he made a Rusto mod Firebird Trans Am and put a high revving V8 in it that revs to like 13,000 RPMs. It sounds like that, and that is beautiful. I think so. I don't know, but he did a resto model on like a white Firebird Trans Am, like the early, like the bookshelf nose one from like the early second gens. Yeah.
That dude lives in,
yeah.
That dude lives here in Kansas, by the way. Do you know that?
What?
Yeah. He lives here in Kansas. He was
on the next episode. We're tracking down a Firebird.
Yep.
What? That's
slightly
crazy.
off topic, but
yeah, slightly, but it's all good. It is all good. So yeah, V10s, bring them back. I will pay money.
Yes. Point being.
Yes. So this one I don't remember since the last time I wrote it down, so it's a bit of a newer topic, I guess you can say. Alpine is using the 2024 chassis for their 2025 car, which I guess now looking at the amount of points they've gotten made sense with a bit fat goose egg.
Yeah.
And they had factory issues too. They had issues with one of their performance divisions in their aero department that was not giving them accurate readings or accurate telemetry based on the experiments they were basically running. So, yikes.
They got driver issues. They got principal issues. They got factory issues. They got freaking everything issues.
It's so weird, and I don't understand it one bit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bring back freaking Cyril Beatbull. a Beatbull?
Cyril. I don't know. I think he's having fun with. Is it Hyundai? He's with a big manufacturer. I don't remember who he's with. Another one.
Didn't he go to WRC?
I think it's Hyundai. I think, or it was maybe WEC.
No, it's WRC because Hyundai isn't in the WEC. I don't think. No, they're not. They're not in the WEC.
No, it is Hyundai. It is Hyundai because they're going to be making a Hyundai. I think it's an LMDH car. I think Hyundai's joining the LMDH series.
Oh fuck! I forgot about that.
I did too until you said that. It's like, oh, I forgot about that.
No, that was Genesis, wasn't it? Or was that?
No, I think it's Hyundai.
Genesis is making their own LMDH car too. So
I don't remember. It's part of a team that's opening their motorsport realm. That's all I know. They're opening their motorsport ambitions, and I don't remember who it was. Is it Lexus? No.
Anyways.
Off topic anyways. So, yeah, Alpine's having fun. I'm going to cut in with a topic that I didn't write down, but I heard about this in my Discord server and then was alerted to it and went and looked, and it's true, but Valtteri Bottas was testing the MCL35 in Spain yesterday.
Oh, yeah. He's a reserve driver for McLaren now.
I didn't know that happened. I knew he was reserved for Mercedes, but why in the fuck is he with McLaren?
Oh, I would love to see him step in for a race and just win.
Why are they doing my man Pato O'Ward like that? Come on. I know he's busy in IndyCar, but
yeah,
brother.
See, I would love to see Pato O'Ward in that car too. Oh, damn, that's kind of a hard situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, because Pato, you have a talent for the future to develop. Bottas, he's already done his time. But he's good, maybe good for feedback.
Yeah, he's good.
But then he'd be driving an old car. Well, you said they signed him. Did they sign him, or was he on loan?
That's a good question, actually. I know he is a reserve driver.
I was going to say, because if he's on loan, then I don't know why they put him on track time unless they just wanted to have some fun. But
yeah,
if they actually signed him, then they could theoretically use him for sim time and development time. That's a possibility. It's like a development standpoint for the car.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they might have. Let me look this up real quick.
Yeah, you look that up. I'll begin slightly discussing the next topic while you look that up. So this next one is pretty quick, pretty brief, and pretty straightforward. Monaco is moving to mandatory 2 stops, which I'm all for it. I love it. I want to see more chaos in Monaco, especially with the cars getting smaller. I'm all for it. Sign me up. thought it was unfortunate that we had a race last year where Leclerc was literally just going intentionally slow, holding up everyone so he could make his tires last. That was very, 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 very boring. Literally 2 seconds a lap slower just so he could save and back people up. That is boring. Race.
Yes, I'm all for the 2-stop Monaco race.
I'm okay with it. I love Monaco. Monaco's my favorite, so womp womp.
Yeah, it doesn't exactly produce the best racing, but it's very, very beautiful out there.
Some of those F2 races around there were great, though. Especially, what was it, Behrman versus Antonelli? When they were fighting in the hairpin, and Antonelli did a switchback on Behrman midway through it for a overtake.
I just wish that, like, some of the overtakes I've done in freaking F1 23, they'd have the balls to do in, the real race. But, that's not going to happen.
If only. If only. That's just the difference of having massive cojones. So, yeah. What'd you find on that Bottas thing, by the way? Or did you see anything?
Well, I didn't really find much. I do know.
So he may be on loan.
He is also okay.
Because he is a part of the Mercedes family, and Mercedes is the powertrain supplier for McLaren, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's just a contractual temporary thing they did.
Bottas is driving the 2023 MCL 60 to get used to McLaren systems and procedures, should the need arise for him to replace either Lando or Oscar. So it sounds like he is reserve driver.
Quite intriguing, honestly.
Or about to be signed as reserve. I don't know. All I know is he's been driving with
someone drops him. He just gets, picked up for someone who gets dropped mid-season randomly.
Yeah.
Never know, man. But interesting. Yeah. All for 2 stops on Monaco also. Sign me up. So, better racing. Next one, I'll kind of skip on that now, honestly. I don't have a whole lot of comparisons that I was going to go and do. But the next one we were going to discuss was more about, design breakdowns and stuff, which I don't have any of the technical drawings or anything that I could go and use for that situation, so we may just pass on that now. I just know that Mercedes brought a more aggressive side pod for one of their more recent upgrades that features an underbite, kind of more significant, similar to the RB19 side pod concept. So Mercedes is kind of just trying to innovate however they can with more of an underbite insight. I was hoping I could bring in some photos and stuff like that and then do an aero analysis over that, but I don't have any of the materials available right now, nor have I had the time to go and do any aero analysis so I can explain that for you guys. But hey, I promise soon I'm gonna give you aero stuff. I like aero stuff, so you're gonna get aero stuff.
Yes,
but for now,
he does like aero stuff.
I like air, but so interesting stuff, but a lot of upgrades going around the teams right now. It's going to be eager to see who's going to change the most, what's going to be the craziest upgrade we see, and who's going to upgrade throughout the season and make big jumps. So I look forward to that. So speaking of upgrades, upgrades have to be made to a lot of the rear wing systems for the new technical directive over the rear wing systems. So, beginning of the season, they had cameras put in, which basically just monitor the rear wing to make sure there's not a lot of fluctuation or aeroelasticity with the pieces on the rear wing, kind of like how McLaren had the mini DRS system in a couple races last year. They gave them a little bit of a top speed advantage when they did not have DRS. So, they've kind of cracked down on the tech regs for that. So, first thing they did was add a rear-facing camera, which kind of created a bit of a weird situation with Williams earlier in the Chinese Grand Prix, actually, because they were fined, I believe, $50,000 for not having the camera running. You want to know why? The fantastic reason. Williams did not have an SD card in the camera. I didn't know the teams had to provide their own SD cards in those damn cameras. That doesn't make sense, but okay, FIA, thank you.
That's the most random reason to be fined.
At least they didn't get points taken away, but
$50,000 or euros, whatever, for Americans, by the way.
50,000 schmackaroonies.
Yes.
50,000 doubloons.
Freedom units. Anyways,
Yes.
50,000 euros for an SD card. That's a little kind of a little crazy if you ask me, but FIA will FIA.
I just don't understand how it's all up to the teams essentially to go and do that. I would never have expected the FIA to leave the responsibility to the teams to provide that material because I don't know, some people could cheap out on it or something, but I mean, really?
Pinnacle of motorsport, by the
Come
way.
on. Yeah, basically. So, they introduced a new technical regulation, which basically is talking about the flexion of the wing. Previously, the flexion allowed was up to 2 millimeters. Anything past that was an issue. With the new technical directive, they only are going down to 0.5 millimeters, so half a millimeter of tolerance. So they're basically going from 2 millimeters to half a millimeter. And then they had a little tolerance and a little leeway in the Chinese Grand Prix, and they're going to have absolutely nothing going forward. So the tolerance in the Chinese Grand Prix was they could have plus or minus 0.25, so a quarter of a millimeter of kind of fluctuation and leeway as they get settled into that new regulation because it takes time to build up the rear wing and stuff like that. And then there's a 2-week break from the Chinese Grand Prix to Japan. Coming into Japan and going forward, there is no tolerance. If you are over that half a millimeter by even a hundredth, rest in piss, bozo. You're done. So, yeah, right. There was a little bit of tolerance in China, and now there is no tolerance. So, very interesting bit of cracking down on the rear wing system to see how that's going to impact and see if anyone gets caught in the act.
Yeah, I hope McLaren doesn't take a performance hit from that, honestly. I mean, my prediction that they were going to beat themselves isn't exactly coming true, which I didn't want it to come true. So,
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I thought it was also funny too, because of course Twitter being the cesspool of horrible F1 hot takes, worse than us somehow. Of course, everyone on there who watches Drive to Survive one episode and then opens Twitter thinks they know quite a bit about that. I saw a forum actually by one of them, which that is in a accurate representation of what you see on the other side of some of those people's Twitters. Because one of them was a fan page for either Lando Norris or Charles Leclerc. I know, scary how typical that is. Might as well listen to Taylor Swift while you're at it.
Oh,
so, yeah, and it was a post showing pictures of the difference of height on the rear wings under extreme load, fast speeds, and cornering conditions, which honestly just kind of angered me to the point I closed Twitter for the day. But It was quite literally a forum that was showing the difference of height in wing because they were trying to make a point that Red Bull, Mercedes, and someone else had extreme wing flexion compared to McLaren, and they should be punished also, when it was literally just showing the downforce affected on the rear wing as the rear wing in the entire car squat down under the force given through downforce.
Do they not know?
It is such a typical thing.
Do they not know how aerodynamics and suspension work?
It's like you can go back and watch videos all the time and see a lot of F1 cars. If you see that rear view, the faster they're going, the more downforce that they're getting because of the amount of airflow that's traveling over the components. And you will see that rear end of the car squat down, and magically the tires and suspension raise up in the camera frame because of downforce carrying the itch to the ground. That is how racing is, and that is how air works. Sorry, that's a side tangent. That really angered me about how people are trying to grasp at straws. That could have been rage bait for all I know, but
pretty good rage bait if it was.
Yeah, some people are morons. Goddamn, that's like engineer bait right there, and that's hook, line, and sinker. That's a gotcha, bitch. Like Jesus. That angered me. So I hate Twitter for that reason. So, fantastic. So yeah, welcome. Next fun topic is a bit of an interesting one. It was a rumor and a bit of a discussion that was going around. Otmar Safnauer.
Safnauer.
Yes, the man, the old Alpine man. No, yeah, because he was also Force India and all that. So yeah, goody boy Eddie. What the f am I saying? I am.
What?
Sorry, everybody. I think we've all had a little bit to drink tonight. I haven't had
Yeah.
that much, but I'm having bad spoonerism, so maybe I am feeling it, Mr. Krabs, but I don't know. So, good old Otmar is experimenting around a bit in the U.S. right now and is currently reaching out and communicating with several other U.S.-based companies and teams to fund a 12th American Formula One team. He wants a 12th F1 team, and he's trying to pull in as many American sponsors as he can, or American companies, to make it happen. I saw that report a while ago. That's interesting.
Me, as an American, I did not know about this. And
This is
I'm
an
all
old
for
report.
it.
I'll see if I can pull it up. I'm going to see if I can pull it up in the meantime while you
Yeah,
talk your
I'm
stuff.
all for it. I mean, more cars on track, more American shit.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I just thought that was quite interesting that he was suddenly coming back with everything. Because we've had so many, like, interesting flips happen, especially since we're now seeing Andretti Cadillac come in. They're going to have, like, a European home base and stuff, but that's not anything super crazy. But it's just rather interesting that we're having Otmar go and try and open a 12 Formula One team, which I believe could be nice, because Otmar did run his team well and was pretty well scapegoated around in Alpine and Force India. I mean, that one interview he did with whatever company it was, I don't remember which one it was, but they kind of scapegoated him or went around him for everything. I think it was Alpine, because they went around him entirely with the whole Piastri situation when they announced it. He had nothing to do with that. It was the higher-ups and people in Alpine. He had nothing to do about that. He was a scapegoat. He was actually scapegoated by that organization, which is quite disgusting, to be honest. I hate to hear that, because Otmar seems like a good guy, and he did pretty good stuff. I mean, he was kind of just in a situation where he was to get absolutely bullied by a lot of people. So,
Yep. Just how F1 goes.
yeah, quite unfortunate, but I can't find the article. Maybe we can discuss that at a later time, but yeah. Next comment, I guess it's just a quick section of rest in peace, the legend, Eddie Jordan.
Yeah.
Icon in motorsports, legendary team principal, fantastic quotes.
Godspeed.
Who knows?
If it
Maybe
weren't-
they'll bring back the V10s in his honor. Like he said, shame on everyone who let them go away.
If it weren't for him, Michael Schumacher might never have been what he had become. And
Jordan was a pioneer.
He was. Rest in peace.
R.I.P. legend. And next fun topic after the sadness. Do the optional one just because I thought it was kind of funny. So I guess per a interview in Sky Media that Max is currently living in Lewis's head rent-free, as we've seen in some of the interviews that he ended up doing. So Lewis basically went on Sky Sports after basically getting criticized for the way he was talking to his engineer during the Australian Grand Prix. And basically went to say, why are you guys upset with how I'm talking to my engineer? Look at how abusive Max is towards GP. Like, that poor guy, all this and that, basically just trying to, like, victimize GP, which was quite interesting, I will say, especially since, I mean, even Horner acknowledges it. They're like an old married couple. So, and GP has said several times, I mean, he's happy with Max. He said in an interview when he sat down with Max, he had his toughest moments with Max at 21 when the pressure was on at the highest, but they've built a better relationship based on that. I mean, you're an athlete. This is the same argument as like the cursing thing that was going on with the FIA. I mean, you're in the heat of a moment. Things happen. You understand that. You got to keep your head clean. But also, like, there's a respect between GP and Max, which I don't understand why people are trying to say he's a bad guy for speaking in the heat of a moment. Which, does he seem like an ass on the radio? Yeah, he's fiery, but he doesn't actually like abuse GP.
If he wanted to mention anyone, the person you should have mentioned is Yuki. Funnily enough.
Yeah.
Because I mean.
Yeah, that probably would have been better, but you know they gotta revolve it around the golden boy.
I feel bad for whatever bird's about to have to.
Oh.
About to have to endure. What?
Oh, yeah. Is Hugh Bird still the performance engineer for the second car?
I don't know.
I thought Hugh Bird stepped back.
Oh,
Didn't Hugh Bird step back? He's just taking a different role within the team right now.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I haven't heard his name a lot, so I haven't heard his voice either, so I don't know. It's that's something for later, but yeah, so I thought that was quite interesting. It seems like Hamilton's taking a bit of a bigger ego shot at a lot of things now, which is quite interesting. First on his comments that he had with Sky in an interview or before the season began. I don't even remember what it was, but it was kind of it was very like ego filled, which I understand in a sport like that, and just in general you want to have a higher ego, just because if you don't have an ego, you don't believe in yourself, you don't have confidence like that, then what's the point of competing at all? But I guess there's also like limits and boundaries, but he was still at a realm where it was like understandable. I just don't understand why he's going on calling out Max when he was getting berated for his issues. I don't think Max would turn it around and do it on him, but at the same time, I don't know him. I can't speak for him. I won't speak for him because that's just assumptions, and that's not what I want to do here. So,
yep.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's a random situation. So, all right. Now we move on to the random racing category, which is just a bunch of fun, quick things. So, first thing is, I did not get to research this at all, so I'm not going to be able to explain this very well in detail. But Cleetus McFarland went on the podcast with Dale Earnhardt Jr., the living legend himself, and basically admitted how he was brought into the ARCA series of NASCAR. I believe he had gotten text from one of the drivers, or one of the drivers had reached out about a seat opening, if I'm correct, and had basically helped get him the opportunity to race in that series, where he also directly confirmed that he will be racing in Talladega with ARCA. So he will have another shot in a NASCAR and hopefully not get hit this time. But Cleetus Skeeter is going to be back in the NASCAR again in ARCA. So didn't get to research it too much, but he will be back, and he actually had a driver. I think it was Ryan Blaney, if I'm correct. That name sounds really familiar to the story, but I think Ryan Blaney helped him get in. I don't know.
Yeah. It's awesome seeing him just, like, do the most random videos back then in that, like, white freaking lab coat. And then now seeing him in the ARCA series at the ARCA series
It's late.
in NASCAR. Jesus Christ. Point being, look how he's grown.
it's great to see people get these kind of opportunities in like a professional environment after having it as like a hobby online. I'm really enjoying seeing that in general. That goes for Cleetus and a lot of other people too. I like seeing that. So, especially, what's that one sim racer guy who got a shot? I'm not talking about Jimmer.
What?
There's another sim racing guy who got to make it into racing recently. Not him. There's another guy I was thinking about. Suelio. But he does like sim racing coaching and stuff online. He's been sim racing for a while. He just got a full ride with Brian Herta Automotive racing in the Hyundai. He's partnering with someone else, and I don't remember who, but yeah, I think it's Suelio. Something Suelio.
I think I know who
I'm probably butchering his name, but I don't know. I just thought that was cool, but
yeah.
So I just like to see a lot of people get their opportunity in like a real environment after doing it online for a while. So very cool, very nice. All right, next fun topic, WORDA. So WORDA is basically the Grand Prix Drivers Association equivalent in World Rallycross compared to Formula One. They basically started a clan to fight back against the FIA, calling them out. I believe I touched a little bit that on the last episode. I don't remember if I did, but I'll go back over it just in case. They basically formed an organization like Grand Prix Drivers Association to fight back against the FIA and their squaring breakdown, basically saying, this is bull, this isn't right, you shouldn't fine us for things that we say in the heat of a moment that we can't control sometimes, and it's just not right. We demand to see, I think they demanded to see where the money went or something like that, but they demanded a couple things that were, pretty reasonable. It's just don't overstep your boundaries in a way. And I believe they also have started doing, protests in conversations and stuff to not, speak, or they speak in their own native languages now to avoid anything, which is quite interesting, speaking in your native language to avoid saying something so the FIA can penalize you. But it's an interesting approach. I just love seeing the backlash from the FIA, and I think recently with the F1 they decided to not fine anyone for swearing anymore. I don't know if that was just for China or what, but I heard that before the whole race kicked off.
Yeah, it's good that they're it's good that people are finally kind of combating this swearing issue. It should never have been banned in the first place. I mean, I was gonna say it's a violation of freedom of speech, but it's not America.
Yeah.
You get the point. It's frankly, bull. Oh my God. Fine me $50,000 for saying that. Oh.
You owe me money. Give me your money.
But yeah, happy that they're cracking down on the FIA for that shit.
I entirely agree. It's very nice to see. I'm just hoping it continues onwards, especially with better progress for our drivers. So it'll be definitely something to watch for a while. So another fun topic, just not really involved to racing at all, but something to, I guess, quote unquote, laugh at, but also just think. Mr.Beast absolutely ate shit in a Formula E car around the Miami circuit recently. I think he was racing it for one of his series or something like that to show off, and he just kind of got on the interesting, but he kind of got on the power a little bit too hard too quickly, and spun it into a wall. Torque hit too quickly.
Didn't see that. I'm gonna watch that right now.
Yeah, I think he was following a safety car or something like that, and he accelerated out of a corner. I don't remember which one it was, but he just hit it a bit too hard. It looked like two solid left-handers, so it could be the end of Sector 1 into Sector 2, like those two weird left-handed corners where Leclerc spun off in qualifying last year, I think. Fair enough. So, yeah, that was an interesting thing that went viral recently. Oh, you watched it?
Bro.
We are critiquing driving now.
Bro got on the throttle too aggressively, it looks like.
Yeah. So, it's an entertaining one. So, next fun topic. Sorry, what'd you say?
I don't blame him. I mean, electric motors, they do have that, like, instant torque, so.
Yeah, there is no such thing as being nice to those. It's, if you mess up, you're going round. Electric does not play.
Yeah.
Power delivery is instant, which is nice. I still miss the sound, though. I don't want to drive a spaceship. But, you know, that's just me. So, yeah. Next little fun kind of hidden topic is a little thing in discussion. But I'll have to post a picture on screen, because this is only really word of mouth right now until a singular picture was released by someone who's being a news reporter. So Felix Rosenqvist, driver of the car number 60, I think, an Indy car for Meyer Shank. I think it's Meyer Shank Racing. Driver of the number 60 car was involved in a testing accident the week before or the week of the Thermal Club race. He was testing at Barber Motor Speedway and had a issue with the car in some capacity, or did something to where he barrel rolled the car and flipped it over into the barriers. There's no video. It's all word of mouth and news reports until a journalist posted a picture of it on Twitter in response to a forum. I downloaded that picture because I didn't see that anywhere, and it's crazy. But yeah, so that was a bit of an interesting thing, is that Fro was involved in a bit of an incident. I don't even know what you have to do to flip those cars unless you just lose control of the rear, hit a bad rumble strip, and then just, Jesus, take the wheel at that point.
That's interesting. No videos present.
Bit of interesting racing bits added on to that. I don't know. Glad he's okay.
Yeah.
Fro's a really good dude. I like Felix. Very, very good guy. So, just hoping he was not impacted by that too much, which I don't think he was, because he competed pretty well in Barber. Yes, Barber, totally. Thermal Club. So, I think there's still good hopes for that. But, yeah. So, that brings an end to our normal racing category, which brings us to the tail end of this episode right here. So it's been going by pretty quickly so far, and we are now on to the final bits. So we have a nice little 5 kind of just standard automotive. I don't know if you can hear the sirens, but sirens outside my apartment. Apologies. There's several little fun automotive topics. First one we'll talk about, which I saw a little bit a while back. BMW is considering buying out the brand KTM.
Huh.
Which is quite interesting.
That is kind of interesting. Is it like BMW the car brand, or is it BMW the bike division?
I think it was bikes.
Huh.
Like, they'd take the entire company by that point, which is quite interesting. But I know KTM is like a very sought after off-road bike. Typically, they're good when it comes to competition. I have a lot of friends who want KTMs, but they're always like super expensive. They're like the Toyotas in the market. They hold their value, but also people love holding on to them. So good luck finding one.
Yeah. That'd be pretty interesting to see come to fruition. I'd like to see it. See what they do.
I'd like to see it too, honestly. It'd be quite interesting, but at the same time, I just really hope it wouldn't turn to the standards of BMW when it comes to if they take over KTM. It's like saw a great video today. It gave me a good old chuckle. It was a scene from either Terminator 1 or Terminator 2 when Schwarzenegger spits out a bullet and then just says, "Don't do that." And it was literally just captioned BMWs when you put in non-BMW authorized parts.
Yikes.
Real. Unfortunately real. So, yeah, that's quite interesting. Then there's a bunch of interesting things occurring for the automotive enthusiasts in the world right now, which I guess I'll kick this one off because this is a bit more breaking news that kind of broke out a bit yesterday or the day before, I believe. Yeah, Stellantis is reopening their Hemi division in the automotive world. They're reopening the Dodge plant that will be promoting their, I think it's 5.7 V8 Hemis. I think it's 5.7. I don't remember what liter their Hemi is. But yeah, as of August this year, they're reopening their Hemi division. So we will have V8 Dodges again, which to me, hot take, I just don't like Stellantis.
Yeah.
But that's cool. We're going to have the Hemi back. More V8s. Save the world. We love big broom and V8s.
See, as a mechanic, oh my God, I hate Stellantis. But
as a consumer, I hate Stellantis.
But I think it's good that they're bringing back the V8 because ain't nobody got time for that electric bullshit.
We're making steps in the right direction. We're doing fantastic so far.
Yeah.
And this one I don't have on the list, but I'm going to tie into this. Porsche is looking at spending, I believe it's around $900 million to continue further progressing their combustion engine series of production. And I saw an interesting news report that came out yesterday. It was a little topic on a little small automotive page. Apparently, there's only 2 models of Porsches being sold currently with a manual option. However, if you raise enough noise to Porsche about a specific model with a manual option, they're going to do it. Porsche is opening the doors to the Porsche is opening the doors to enthusiasts and is asking them, would they like more manuals of this car? If you reach out to them, they can not only make it, but they may make it public and make it more proudly. Basically reopening the world of save the manuals to as many Porsches as you want from their lineup. So I saw that yesterday. That's quite interesting. So if you're in the market for a Porsche, you want a Porsche, reach out to a Porsche dealership or Porsche themselves and ask for a manual of this specific model of car that you want. So there you go. Go get the Porsches back. Get the manuals. Save the manuals.
Oh.
Yes. So that's a bunch of fun things. Another fun little car news that came out yesterday that's still semi-fresh and I thought was quite interesting. Lewis Hamilton is wanting to recreate a successor to the Ferrari F40. He wants to make a modernized F40 called the F44 with a manual transmission and inspiration from the F40, but in modern-day times, and he wants it called the F44.
Does bro not know about the F50 or...
I don't know. He wants to be unique. Just let him let him be unique. I don't know. Maybe there's something in his contract that he can help design it. He wants to help with the design and feedback of the car. So I don't know. I just saw it yesterday and that was interesting.
I'm all for it. I'm all for a modernized version of a F40. That'd be pretty sick.
It would be quite incredible if I do say so myself. So
would it be like one of the... What was the Pagani called? The Zonda 760 LH, something like that? Would it be like that, or is it like an actual...
I think he wants a whole new production line, like a set 2026 model of Ferrari.
All for it.
Yeah. Saw it yesterday. That was quite interesting. Yes.
Oh,
Keep the manual.
Oh, yeah. I'm all for it. Even though
the world is healing. The world is healing, everybody. Manuals are being saved and big engines are staying. So, another fun one we have is the Audi R8 is rumored to return. They may be bringing the Audi R8 back into production. I don't know what year they were looking at. I think it was anywhere in the range of 26 to 28. They were looking at reopening the Audi R8 and remaking it and continuing the model of the car. So
I'd be open for that.
Very nice. Very nice.
I feel like they'd probably use the hybrid V8 out of the what was it called? The Lamborghini something. What was it called?
Cyan?
Temerario?
Tomorrow? Team.
It's the Lamborghini
Timbuktu.
Tomorrow.
I don't know.
The Lamborghini Tomorrow.
The Lamborghini Timbuktu, whatever it is.
Yes. Point is,
So, I don't know. I love it.
I feel like they'd probably use the hybrid V8, which that'd be pretty cool.
I'd accept that, honestly.
Hybrid
hybrid assisted engines are peak. That's where electric development should be at right now. But that's just a hot take for another day. So still hurts my heart the Camaro is not returning, but I mean, we may get the R8 back. Speaking of returning from the grave, we have some fun news coming on from Nissan. So Nissan fired their old CEO. I know. Nissan fired their old CEO, promoted a guy from within the company. I don't remember his name, but he is a diehard car enthusiast and has loved cars for the longest time and has now demanded and is putting in action returning the Silvia to existence. He is going to bring back the Nissan Silvia. That is his first thing he's trying to put into motion as the new head of the company at Nissan.
Let me just... The Nissan IDX is making a return.
So
this will become a reality. Oh,
that's kind of disgusting.
I want it to happen.
I don't like how that looks.
I want it to happen. That'd be so nice.
But yeah, so he's demanding the Silvia basically return. So it's very nice to see. Very, very, very nice to see. So
I wonder what kind of plans he has for the GTR too.
I don't know. We shall see. If this is a car enthusiast, I have no doubt he's going to be pulling some strings.
Because didn't the R35 kind of end production not too long ago?
Yeah, the last model was produced in Japan. There's like a goodbye model, Japan exclusive, if I'm correct.
Huh. I'm excited to see what they do with that. If they do an R36.
Yeah, I think it would be exciting. So we can only really hope for the best right now. So yeah, exciting stuff. We'll now be moving on to our next category, the gaming section, which is a new section for us. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, and welcome back. We are here to finish off. I will not lie, my camera was dead, and I do not know how long it was dead for. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, need to get a more reliable face cam system. So oofs, that's my bad. But yeah, so we'll figure that out soon. All right, we are going to finish this out extra strong here. So we have one more section to cover now, and that is our new gaming section. So now the first thing we're going to talk about is a good old fat rest in peace to the F1 Manager series. So basically with the last updates that was handled out with like a week or two ago, I was thinking about making a video about it, but I decided to hold on to it and sit on it. F1 Manager is basically giving us an update that's an end of lifetime and end of series update, unfortunately, which is a very nice update because you can customize teams before you start the season, like move around drivers, move around team members, move up, move down stuff. You can do a bunch of customization, which is absolutely fantastic. They added a lot of great stuff into the game. But also, I've been tracking it for a while, and their financial reports and stuff, they did not disclose they're going to make a new F1 Manager game. And then also, this kind of update just confirms, and they mentioned they would just keep supporting it. So it really just screams that they're not going to continue the series, which is quite sad. I really enjoy the F1 Manager series, but it's really nice to see that they brought quite a bit of updates that's going to improve the quality of life quite a bit for a lot of people. So
yeah. I never really played F1 Manager, but it seems like a really fun game to play. I've always just been into the actual driving part, so F1 23, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see the appeal. Like, in fact, I might see if I could snag a discount on it at some point.
Yeah, that's I love the driving bit, but there's also quite a bit of times where I just have skill issues, and it's not quite optimal. So there's always that fun fallback of F1 Manager where it gives you kind of the same experience, except you're really controlling drivers and you're helping them succeed, and you're making race strategies, which I adore. So that's like directly up my alley. I love playing the strategy game. So it's unfortunate it's going to end off so soon, but it's just unfortunate. So fun series will be gone for now unless they just surprise walk back in. But until then, it's just kind of dying from what it seems like. So yeah, unfortunate, but yeah. On to our very last topic today. So this one is a bit of a fun one I'm dropping on you, Karen, because I get to test your knowledge, but I also get to see how much you know about this. Karen, you finished Forza Horizon 1, yeah? Do you know much about the ending scene, the ending credits, and the hidden stuff in it?
I just recently found out about Darius Flint. His when you beat Darius Flint and you get his car, so when you beat him and you like get his car, there's a certain amount of time that goes by in the ending credits, and after that certain amount of time, you'll see skid marks, and then you'll see a crashed 599XX Evo. So, yeah, that's a little odd.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had heard anything about that, because of course, shout out to the all great AR12 who covered this, and I watched that a couple weeks back. I'm like, I'm going to test your knowledge because you're the Forza Horizon 1 man, so I didn't know if you knew that, but I didn't know that either. I haven't finished the game, of course, but I thought that was quite interesting because he dove into a way deeper theory about the entire existence of it, because it's, you wait a few minutes and then you just see the car crash and it's stationary, and you never hear from that driver who's in Colorado ever again. And of course there's like memories and flashbacks and stuff in like later games, but there's just that huge speculation that the driver just died after having that impact with that new car. You never see it again, or they wonder if the rest of the games following it are a giant dream, because you have that one Horizon festival, and then everything else after, they don't have a name for the person. It's Superstar or a create your own situation. It's never that same person from that first game. So there's that big theory of, are the rest of the Horizon games after just a dream or something from like a hospital, or him living in a different dimension after he's passed?
Yeah, it's a very dark twist on an otherwise fun and lighthearted game and series. I would love some like more insight into this and like confirmation from the developers and whatnot on whether it's true that the main character in FH1 dies at the end. Because, man, I've spent so much time on that game. I miss it, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's why I wanted to bring that to you, because I had no clue if you had heard anything about that. But it's such an interesting loophole. Like, it is dark, it's horrifying, but it's also like, they really never gave us anything to build off of. But at the same time, you never think you go to a racing game, an open world racing game, for lore about a specific character from the first title years ago.
Yeah.
You never think that's purpose.
What's crazy is I think it was either FH4 or FH5. They mention a like certain superstar back in like Colorado, I think, in this like Horizon story, and I'm wondering, I don't know, it's all kind of weird.
Yeah. Because there was also that one addition to, what was it, Forza Horizon 5 that had that big throwback event for the 10th anniversary. And it was, what was it? You had to race him in his Ferrari, I think, and you were in the Viper. But there was some line that kind of coordinated. There was something that had rumored, oh, what was it? I don't remember. I think it was saying he's fighting to retain his wins or his record or something like that. But it was some, like, stipulation that was making people think in a broader context that it was, he was still undefeated and you were that person and you're dreaming about going back and, like, beating him for the first time or making sure he's not undefeated, you know? I don't remember.
I don't know, man. It's
so weird.
I did hear about that. Air 12 mentions that
There's
in
a lot
video.
of interesting loopholes that can go with that, but I don't know. I just thought that was interesting, and I kind of wanted to discuss that since it was a more racing-related game, but it had a weird bit of lore added onto it, so thought it was quite entertaining, honestly. So, yeah. So, interesting as that is, that will be the end of episode 3, bring the chaos to a close. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed just a little bit of news updates happening with all the different types of fun we are having here. And yeah, if you guys are enjoying this kind of content, just feel free to give us a follow, join us along on our journey, enjoy the automotive chaos of an engineer trying to be in motorsport and an auto mechanic with a deep passion of everything motorsport and car related, who got me into motorsports in the first place. So we try and coax you through the journey of understanding cars as they are and giving you technical insight into motorsport that a lot of people don't want to give you or don't make you think about. So yeah, it's always a pleasure to have you guys along for the journey. It's always a pleasure to have Kieran as the fantastic co-driver here in the seat. So, as always, fantastic for another episode. If there's anything you guys want to see from us or just want to join us, give us a follow, shoot us a message, anything of that sort. We're always open to hearing. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you in the next episode when we try and figure out if lubricants and such as that like gallon drum of lube you can buy off Amazon for $30,000 a good replacement for engine oil or something like that. I don't know. Maybe we can pop it in a Civic and see how long it lasts. So, sounds like fun to me. So, have a good night, guys. Thank you for joining us. See you later.
All right.